Now it's starting to pick up a little bit. Combine and Indy, nobody worked out. Did you see, Ryan, that only 2 quarterbacks ran the 40 of even the ones that did throw? But the Combine is done. You knew you were going to get that post-Combine news dump. We got it. And it's the thing I knew. It's the thing I feared. It's the thing I didn't want to believe, but it's true. Cam Ward's going number 1. Now, the question is to what team he's going to go to, but he is going to go number 1. The Browns wanted to host all 4 of those guys on the same day. A ton to react to from the NFL Combine. Joe Bitonio back, baby. Yeah! Needed that for a little morale boost. We'll talk Nick Chubb. Crazy landscape in the NFL right now. Cavs playoffs. Think about that. There's so much basketball to go. We can lose every game and still be in the play-in tournament. Cavs are in. Nice, resilient win. News for Kevin Love. We'll get to that. We got the grid. We got so much to get to right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana.
How about this,
Ryan
Matt?
Tyler.
We are sitting here.
Morning.
It is 8:44 a.m. as we're recording this, so we're going this a little bit later. I don't know if this is the correct button, Matt. I'm going to try it.
What?
No, it's not. Oh, wait. Is it? We have breaking news already.
Already? As we record this morning?
From Field Yates, 32 seconds ago, Matt.
Football.
The Browns have restructured the contract of quarterback Deshaun Watson, creating nearly $36 million of cap space in 2025.
We knew that. Let me hit the retweet on that. Was always going to happen. We are just numb to restructures at this point. But was always going. This is great for the show because I'm tweeting this in the morning. Going to happen. All right, there we go. Restructure. Breaking news on this morning. People are watching this Thursday. I'm like, oh, yeah, it happened 12 hours ago. Yes, we know. The restructure to Deshaun Watson. So add that to our list to talk to you about today. Presented by our great friends at Garage Beer. Hey, right. I was in Florida. Garage Beer aplenty.
They're everywhere, man.
They're everywhere. You want to. I know. Florida was great. I'm sorry. I came back to a bunch of snow. Sorry, I brought it back. Sitting by that pool, enjoying a good garage, that lime garage beer. Woo! It's a place to go. And our great friends at Fairway Ford. We'll tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford, Ohio, coming up in just a little bit. All right, so we got it as we recorded. They restructured Deshaun Watson, $36 million cap space. And listen, we're going to get to the Combine. The free agency stuff is big, right? Like we talked to Jack Duffin, who we respect a lot, and there are people out there like cap, they're in salary cap hell, and then other people are like, well, no, they'll just restructure this. And there is a little piece about the Myles Garrett if they want to move that bonus or what's going to happen with him. That kept picking up steam. I was talking, shout out to Spencer German in 92.3. Spencer does lockdown, he does a bunch of stuff, and him and I were talking about the impact of Cam Ward, right? About if you feel like Cam Ward is a guy that could keep Myles Garrett here, then you have to go trade up to 1 to get him. And if it's 2 twos, because that was the other rumor, right? If the Giants want to go up and get Cam Ward, they're going to ask for 2 day 2 picks, 2nd round, 3rd round. And the Browns have, 4 picks in the top 94? Something like that, 4 or 5. So they have extra, but would you trade future picks and all that? Listen, the Browns free agency side of things, there's a list that's been out there of guys. They sent out that list, and there's nobody on there that you're like, well, really got to have this person. Like, James Hudson is going to leave, right? You don't want Jedrick Wills back. I'll take Jordan Hicks and restructure here and move this here. The Browns are not going to be super active in free agency. And I think as you look around the league, which I do want to spend time talking about this later, Javon Hargrave got cut by the 49ers. 2 years ago, people thought that was the greatest free agency move in the history of the game. Joey Bosa, always hurt, cut. Like, if you build your team in free agency, you will never win. What you need to do is draft a bunch of really good players and you supplement with free agency. That is how the NFL works. NBA, you can kind of build your team in free agency. Baseball, go look at the Mets. Go look at the Yankees. You can build your team through free agency. It's fine. Football, you can't do that. You got to draft. And it gets back to where we're at with the Browns as we get ready to go for the draft coming up. All right, post-combine, here's the biggest takeaway. And Ryan, I want your biggest takeaway. It's just an unequivocal bona fide fact that Cam Ward's going to go number 1 now. There were 2 mocks that I saw earlier this week from 2 guys that I respect a lot. You know, this draft stuff, there's people out there that put out content, but you're like, do you really know what you're doing over there? Dane Brugler and Jordan Reed know what they're doing, all right? Both of them had the Giants trading to 1 to take Cam Ward. That is the new favorite in the clubhouse for what is going to happen. It's going to rip my heart out. It's going to. Because I want Cam Ward. And then it gets back to now is Shedeur starting to fall and all that other conversation we've had. And I got entrenched. And I said, I want a quarterback at 2 no matter what. I've not moved off of that. It's just going to be really painful when it can't be Cam Ward. I'm opening it up. And I'm thinking really hard about it. The Browns need to go up to 1 to get Cam Ward. I'm that in on Cam Ward. And here's the other thing, too. The comparison of, like, this draft class versus last year's draft class, that stuff, okay, I understand the GMs want to do that, and they're already looking at the 2026 draft class and all that stuff. Here's what you need to know. Cam Ward is the best quarterback in this draft.
Allegedly.
I am. Brian's a Shedeur guy. I told you that months ago. And all that is going on, step by step, is he is just widening that gap between him and Shedeur. And I get Jackson. Did you see Charles Davis's remark?
Yeah, at 3.
Yeah, Shedeur going 1. Okay, fine. Then Cam, then Jackson Dart going 3. Whatever works. Whatever gets Cam here. There was always going to be that. But I really did feel like what was going to happen happened. All he did was widen that gap. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, he'd be like Bo Nix or he'd be like somebody else. Why don't you just go get the best quarterback in this draft and let everything else fall at where it is? Would I give up 33 to go get Cam Ward? Yeah. And I think I would pitch that to the Titans to say, you're basically getting another first-round pick. So where they want 2 day 2 picks, we will give you 33 and like a future 4, something like that. Go up and get your guy. We need to stop being afraid of what Cam Ward is or what Cam Ward isn't. He is the best quarterback in this draft. Well, Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback in that draft. I think you can win with Cam Ward. There's things with Cam Ward that I see. You got to coach him, you got to do all these other things. And we'll get to the free agency side of things about who else they might go get. And, it seems like I saw Danny Dimes going to Indianapolis now. And now Russell Wilson's going to be on the street. Like all these things, go get your guy. Go get him. And if a sidebar to that is something to appease Myles Garrett a little bit, that's a win-win. I will never, ever yell at the Cleveland Browns about taking a quarterback because it's what you need and it's the only thing that's going to save this franchise. We talk about parallel universes all the time. There's a universe that Cam Ward becomes one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. There's a world that he sucks too. But if there's a chance that he can be the guy, you go take him. You do what you need to do to go get him. That's how desperate I've become. That is how bad things have gotten with the Cleveland Browns. I have to have my guy. And he's the one that I've always wanted. Ryan, all that we've learned from the combine is he is entrenched. He is going to be the first overall pick. Now, to who? Is this getting leaked out? This is good that it's getting leaked out, by the way. Now you start to formulate, what do the Giants have that we maybe don't? What do we have that they don't? What can we do to go make that trade? If the Browns are going to go do it. Because you got to factor in Andrew Berry in this too. Is he going to feel the pressure to save his job to go do something crazy? Because here's the other battle the Haslam's are having. You kept Andrew Berry around. He's obviously on thin ice right now. Do you trust him to make the best moves for the organization or the best moves to save his job? Those moves are not always the same thing. And it could work out that, again, he feels the pressure to go get a quarterback. And again, I'm going to say maybe appease Myles Garrett. And also that guy works out and saves his job. That's the dream. And maybe they would tell me, Ryan, so much as you want to hear, maybe Shedeur Sanders is that guy. Maybe it is. Go do it. As much as you don't want to, you got to trust Andrew Berry to go do the right thing, whether it's for him, for the franchise, as long as it's taking a quarterback with their top pick. That's all I want. That's all I need.
It's kind of interesting, though, if you're talking about Andrew Berry and his job, the future, his security of the GM of the Browns. I know you never want to live in your fears, but if you're talking about sticking at 2, right? Like, you're getting a quarterback no matter what. Well, if you want one, and they should. It's almost like, okay, I let the Giants trade up to 1 or the Titans stick at 1. They take Cam Ward, and then it's like you can't get blamed for taking Shedeur there, right? Because if Cam Ward goes to this Hall of Fame career, well, you didn't have the opportunity to get him. I suppose you could always trade up to number 1. Like, there's always an offer you can make that the Titans wouldn't refuse.
Oh, sure.
But, I mean, if you can sit at 2, and it all comes down to who do you identify as your guy. If Kevin Stefanski identifies Shedeur Sanders, not to say that he has the say, because I don't think he does, but if he fits in his system better, you can keep 33, get a Travion Henderson, a Josh Connolly Jr., something along those lines to pair, because you're talking about how important it is to draft players, get them cheap deals, and then supplement in free agency. I almost think that's just the route to go. I mean, if the Giants really want to give up whatever it takes to get to number 1, I mean, the Titans, if they're really not locked in a quarterback, like I know they've been talking about with Mike Bergonzi getting the best player available, whether they view that as Abdul or Travis Hunter, it seems like, well, then that's a no-brainer. Go move to 3 because you know the Browns are taking a quarterback.
Yeah, and that's all game playing too. Like the Titans could still come out of this and go, yeah, we still always needed a quarterback. We're going to take one, and you sit there and at 2, and it is what it is. You're right. You can't live in your fears of not making the move that you need to go. Real quick, what did you make of them wanting all 4 of those guys? And so here's the story. On Wednesday, they had Shedeur, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter in. They wanted Cam Ward there that day too. Travel didn't allow it. Cam is in by himself on Thursday. Everybody says, well, you want to see how they interact with other top guys and how competitive they are. I didn't like it. You can't focus then on one of those guys. And they might say, well, we interviewed them at the Combine, or we interviewed them at the East-West Shrine game or the Senior Bowl. We want to see how they interact like with other kind of alphas. I push back one other thing on that. I want to see how they interact with guys that are on the bottom of the roster. I want to see how they interact with everybody on the roster. And I get that those guys all play different positions outside of Shedeur and Cam, but they're not there the same day. So, you know, when Shedeur was in, he was sitting down with Tommy Reese, and Abdul Carter was sitting down with Ben Bloom, and then they all come together, and Jim Schwartz was over here, and Stefanski was over here, and then they could pull their reports at the end. I just thought that was a little weird. I didn't like it. I'd rather have these guys in so you could focus solely on this one guy, get what you need out of it, and then you can move forward. Unless they really have truly made their decision, or at least what they think their decision is going to be, and this is just like a cherry on the top. This is like a bonus, interview type of thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and who's to label Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders as alphas? They're not alphas. They haven't done anything yet. The alphas are Joel Bitonio. The alphas are Denzel Ward.
Right.
I want to see how they interact with those guys.
I'm more of like, these are the top guys.
No, I know what you mean.
For their level. You're right. And that's what you get out of it. I don't know. That's the decision that you made. But you mentioned Joel Bitonio. Great news. He's coming back. And Nick Chubb might not be. We all read Mary Kay's article. That's going to be a tough day. I'm still going to hold out hope. We'll talk about Bitonio. We'll talk about Nick Chubb. We'll do it all right here on the Fontana Show. But I talk to my friends at Fairway Ford. Do you need that new ride? Dude, so my in-laws, we flew to Florida. They drove to Florida. And they're sitting there talking, and they go, that's a long trip. But they had to take stuff for the snowbird. So it was 2 months worth of stuff. And they go, Matt, we need that third row. And my father-in-law asked me if I wanted to sell him my Explorer. And I said, no, I love my Ford Explorer. But I was like, maybe you need to check out Fairway Ford. Because whatever you need that vehicle for that extra space. You need the four-wheel drive or truck month. Super duties. Now, that's very specific to what you need. Construction companies, landscaping companies. You just need that. Again, summertime's going to be here before you know it. Do you haul a fifth wheel? Do you have a camper? Do you take the family out vacationing in a camper? Do you need that four-wheel drive? You need that Super Duty. Go see them at Fairway Ford. Folks, 300 Super Duties available. Ryan, there's some dealerships in North City, they don't even have 300 cars, let alone specifically Super Duties. You want to go to Fairway Ford because they have the inventory, they're family-owned and operated, and I just keep coming back. You think about that new vehicle, the pre-owned vehicle, your dream one might even be on that lot already. because that's how many they have. The Broncos, the Mustangs, again, Explorers, what I got, the Expeditions, or again, the F-150s, 250s, 350s, Super Duties, King Ranches, whatever you need. They might even have it already for you. Search their website. Chat feature is right there. fairwayfordohio.com. You can search it, add it to your queue there as you look through it, and stop in and see them. You see it. $8,000 up if you can. Well, rates low as 1.9%. They got it all for you at Fairway Ford. So check them out. Add them to your search history right there with our friends at Fairway Ford. Great news for the Browns on Bitonio. It's unfortunate about where we're heading with Nick Chubb. Comes your way next. Stay with us. All right, good news, bad news, right? It's the compliment sandwich, if you will, for the Browns right now. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play, presented by our friends at Fairway Ford and our great friends at Garage Beer. Check us out on Twitter X, at Matt Fontana Show. Big Play across YouTube, Instagram, and download that Big Play app. So the Browns announced on Wednesday, Joel Bitonio coming back. Did you really think he might retire?
I did, but then
Okay.
I put the pieces. Well, this is just me being conspiracy.
No, that's why I was just
and using context clues. I
Did
thought
you
he was
say
going to
conspiracy.
I thought he was going to retire, but then once he posted, or he didn't post on Twitter, but the reports came out. He's really debating it. He's trying to put together the pros and cons, and he'll get to the Browns soon so they can make a choice. That to me signaled he's coming back. I think if you were going to retire, you wouldn't make it known that you're still kind of in this decision mode. I think if you want to retire, that's something that NFL athletes who dedicate their life to football, they know when it's time to give it up. It's time to give it up.
Well, and Mary Kay said that Joel talked to Joe Thomas, and Joe's message was very similar to yours, Ryan, where he said, you had better be sure.
Right.
Because you can't go back. And he goes, if you think you still have football left in you, do not retire. And I think it's more maybe important, he got out of this season healthy. And that was something we kind of glossed over for the last 4 or 5 years. Joel Bitonio ended every season with something. And unfortunately, for a little bit of it, it was his back. And you hear about guys that play through debilitating back injuries, talk about life after football. You know, trust me, knee injuries suck and ankles and all that. You don't want to screw your back up. Your head and your back. 2 things you don't want to screw up in football. And I was like, I think him getting out of the season healthy had a lot to do with it. I had somebody ask me this question, though. What do you think the quarterback situation and the situation the Cleveland Browns played into it? My initial reaction was, I don't think it did. I think this was more about Joel saying, I can still play. Now, does he want to go out there and go 3-14 again? Probably not. But I really think he felt good. And I also think he, I don't want to say owed this to the Cleveland Browns because he doesn't owe the Browns anything. But this was this not the first real calming good thing for the Browns this off? Because all it's been is obviously the Watson hangover stuff. He tore his Achilles again. Miles trade request. This was actually the first thing that we can all sit there and be like, oh, that's great. That's good. And I think that goes a long way. And I think it's also a little symbol to the rest of the team. He does believe that we can win. And you needed him. There was no way that you were going to be able to fill all these holes. You don't have to fill at left guard, right? I know Zinter would have probably been your guy, but now you can open things up for him. What does that change about Wyatt Teller, maybe? I don't know. We'll get to that in the future, but I thought that was great news, and I just want to say I appreciate Joel Bitonio coming back. Now, the other side of it is Mary Kay kind of painting the picture that we all feared was the truth, that the Browns are not going to re-sign, Nick Chubb. The other thing coming out of this combine, which a lot of was a reaffirming of what we already knew. This running back class is stacked, and you can go ahead and get 2. Go ahead and get you 2 because there's that many good running backs in here. I wanted the Browns to take, again, I love Travion Henderson. I love Quinshon Judkins. I love Singleton. Ollie Gordon later in the draft. Don't heard it here first. I hope that they'd find a place for Nick Chubb. The thing is, when you strip away our fandom, when you strip away our heart, there is no football sense nor financial sense that says you should bring back Nick Chubb. None of that. They still need to bring him back. For this, where I'm talking about an emotional lift of just Joel Bitonio coming back, you just give us something, man. Give us some. Because here's the other problem. Even if the Browns go up and trade for Cam Ward, there's still going to be people that are going to be bitching. There's still going to be people that are going to be upset. They owe it to us. They owe it to Nick Chubb. For Ryan, what? 2 years, $10 million. Give him $5 million. Now, if Nick doesn't want to take that, that's a different story, right? You want to incentivize that contract. You want to make it a bunch of yardage things or whatever to pay him. If it comes out that they didn't even offer him a contract, I'm going to be so pissed. Like, just do that for him. Do it for us. For what? Is that going to keep you from signing some backup linebacker? Is that going to keep you from signing what? You got the cap space. You got a little bit of room. Just go do it, please. And I think they are, every turn, they're starting that conversation because they're trying to ease us into it. They're just going to drop us off a cliff. They're just going to come out with it one day. And it might, probably in free agency. And the thing I don't want to see is that message with a little comment from the Haslam's and a comment from Andrew Berry that says, we wish Nick the best, and he was a legend in this team, and he'll go into the Ring of Honor one day, and we wish him all the best in his future endeavors. I'm going to hate seeing that. It's going to piss me off. What are they going to do? What do you think they're going to do? You think the ship has completely sailed on this thing with Nick Chubb? Because I'm starting to get prepared like I think it is.
Well, so I don't understand. So you're letting him test free agency, and then what? You're either going to match a deal if you feel like it's worth it, and if not, you're going to let him walk.
Are they even doing that, though?
I would hope.
I would hope so, too. But there's also maybe they're like, dude, just go. Just go.
And you're telling me a team like the Steelers, a team like the Ravens, wouldn't give Nick Chubb a 1 year, $5 million deal as kind of like a psychological shot at the Browns? I would.
Sure.
I would.
Sure. It's like Kirk Herbstreit's kid going to Michigan.
Right.
Like, they knew what they were doing, right? Like, that is going to be so painful. The Pittsburgh thing on top of it, which I think that's all just fodder. Like, I really don't think they need him there or they're going to get him, but that's going to be a sad day. And it's unfortunate that I think it's going in this direction. The thing is that door even open? Are they telling Nick, go out there and try to get deals to try to we'll match it? Are they trying to help him out by saying, well, we'll keep the door open and try to let him get a better deal? Because the way the Browns could honestly weasel out of this, but I can't think of a better word, is if he actually gets like a semi-solid deal and the Browns go, well, we couldn't match that. You know, like, what do you want us to do? We couldn't match that. That's what they're hoping. That's not going to happen. It's probably not. On a combo of two things. Number one, this free agency running back class, there's some names. Everybody's going to draft a running back. Everybody. You got Saquon Barkley. Look at that deal he got, by the way. You know, you could have all these star guys. You're still going to go get a running back out of this class. I think it's going to make it really hard. And it's just like, the ending is never easy on anything. But this just, oh, man. That's going to bother me. It's really going to suck. And unfortunately, I think that's the way that we're going. So we'll have to see. Again, I'll leave the door open. The Browns shock me, but who knows? I'm done being shocked with the Cavs, man. Nice 2 solid wins on those back-to-backs in a game that I thought they were going to lose. We'll talk about that. Kevin Love back in Cleveland. Jersey's going on up. Okay. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. Fontana Show presented by Garage Beer, Fairway Ford, right here on Big Play. Did we get our Cavs playoff shirts printed up yet?
No. That's about that
we
time,
should
though.
get them. They're in. They're in the play-in tournament, but Cavs are much higher than that. They're going to be the number 1 seed.
Wait, so did they? I thought they already locked up a play-in. I thought now they're a top seed automatically.
Oh, is it? I thought it was the play-in tournament.
I
would assume because, like, with this play-in tournament bull crap, hang on. We could fix this in 2 seconds. Welcome back. Fontana Show, right here on Big Play. Follow us on Twitter, X. I'm at Fontana Show. YouTube, Instagram, Big Play Up. So we are the Pistons. Here's the way I'm going to look at it. The Miami Heat are 22.5 games behind us, and they're the 7 seed.
No, they definitely locked up a top 6
So then they
spot.
locked a top 6 seed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Because the Pistons are at 6 right now. They're 17.5 games back.
Right, and the Cavs only have 20 games to go.
So would that make sense? I don't know.
Well, no. Here's what you're saying. Miami is 22 back of you, so there's no way Miami can catch you. No team beyond
Oh, right,
7
yeah.
can catch you. So you've locked a top 6 seed. Well done. We'll be the number 1 seed. We got an 8-game lead.
I know.
8-game lead on the Celtics. What I loved about those 2 games, more probably the Heat game, they had every reason to lose that game. Back-to-back. They obviously came out a little slow. Was it the Hawks on Tuesday? Was that the team? Who did we play on Tuesday?
Trailblazers.
Trailblazers, thank you. Another game that, you sat Garland. Was it Garland? No, it was Mobley that sat. Mobley sat or whatever. I look at these games, and I know there's a lot of people that get ready as soon as they lose to fire off some hot takes. I'm telling you, there's no loss that is going to piss me off by this Cavs team. There is no loss from here on the rest of the even though I think they got the Celtics one more time.
No, I think they're done.
I think they're done. I think they are done. They, oh my God, they lost to the Raptors. Don't care. They could stumble against some bottom feeder. I am so ready for the playoffs, man. Like, that's where I'm at. Both of those games, they at least had my blessing to go, hey, man, so what? And they didn't. That tells you about this team. That tells you about the psyche. Not so much about the X's and O's, but Kenny going deep on that bench. Javonte Green showing up with some minutes there. Dude, you got everybody contributing. And it didn't go your way, and you got your best game from Miami, even without Tyler Hero. But that was a game I'm like, dude, chalk it up. Just chalk it up. That's fine. I know people want to get to this grandiose hot take machine about the Cavs, and there's people that still don't really believe in the Cavs. I do. There's nothing that can happen outside of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it. Nothing going to happen to piss me off about this team.
Yeah, I don't understand how at this point you could still have doubts about the Cavs. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, what more do they? I mean, you could say postseason's a different animal. Like when you look at the Celtics, I mean, they're the reigning champions. They have more experience, of course they do. But what the Cavs have done this season, going like as good as you were pre-trade deadline, going to get DeAndre Hunter has taken you to that another level as expected. Like that Celtics game, for instance, when you were down 25-3, you come back and win. You don't win that game unless you trade Karras and George for DeAndre Hunter.
Sure,
I think it's as simple as that. You don't win that game if you don't make that move.
Yeah, and that's where this team believes in the set that they have, that bring your best shot on. I mean, we've talked about this with this team. I don't see many ways that they get beat. I don't. Now they have to perform. They were shooting god awful for a little bit there in that Heat game. But then again, is Miami going to make the playoffs? Yeah, probably as a play-in tournament, and you might actually see them. You might actually have to see them in the first round. But like the way the Cavs psyche works, where they do care about every game, I love to see it. And it's just, again, they're 2 kind of meaningless games, and I would have been fine if they lost because there's no loss out there that's going to bother me about this team. But they found a way, which is great. Now, the other news to come out of that Heat game was Kevin Love said that he has been assured by the Cavs that his jersey's going up next to Nick Gilbert's, who they just retired the other day, which was an emotional night for the Cavs, for the Gilbert family. And Kevin Love let that leak out. And I think we all saw the clip of him and Tristan messing with Richard Jefferson, and Channing Frye sends a tweet. And I said this, man. I doubt highly in my life that there will be a team, an individual team, that overtakes the 2016 championship Cavs. And it's not just because they won the championship, the first of my lifetime to end that streak, but the camaraderie. It's this stuff years down the road that you see with what happens, that it just warms your heart, and you love it, and you love to see, and you love that the guys love it too. And what did also Kevin say? He goes, I'd like to go in the Hall of Fame as a Cavalier. All that stuff, it just warms it. Now,
get it out.
Does he really deserve? Why are you gonna do this? Does Kevin Love really deserve his jersey retired? Come on. Do you know what he averaged in those finals? 10 points. He got the stop. I know he did. LeBron, we're not even going to talk about that because we all know. Okay. Kyrie and Kevin Love. I have always said this. If you're going to put Kyrie in, you better put Kevin Love up there too. I draw the line at Tristan Thompson. I do. And I don't think I'm ever going to get off of that. I'm getting soft in my old age, Ryan. I guess if you want to put Kevin Love up there, put him up there. And put Kyrie up there too. You know? And my thing is like the sliding scale of what it should be to get your jersey retired by a team. Yeah, if you're a great player and you put up all these statistical categories and all that, then there's emotional ones and there's guys that just, were the Mr. Cavalier and all that other kind of stuff. Sure. they're going to do it, so there's no point in me fighting anymore. Like,
I mean, it's all the NBA.
It's fine.
The NBA, the jersey retirings in the NBA are very much so emotional based. Some of the jerseys in the rafters at Rocket Arena now. I mean, let's be real. Like, they don't deserve to be, but they are. It's emotional based, and I mean, like the Basketball Hall of Fame for the NBA, by far the easiest Hall of Fame to get into.
Facts.
So, I mean, from an emotional standpoint, if that's the precedent that the NBA sets, put them in.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that is kind of where it's been. And also for an organization that we're not the Celtics, okay? We're not the Lakers. We got championships over championships over championships. You want to remember, you want to honor that one. But like, okay, let's say this Cavs team goes win a championship. Garland, Mobley, and Donovan?
Here's the thing with Tristan Thompson too, Matt, because if there's like, when you're putting the jerseys up, can you say that player, you can unequivocally say if they weren't on that roster, you wouldn't have won the championship.
Right.
LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, that's clear. And now this is where it gets to the Tristan Thompsons, because I can make the argument that, well, yeah, I'm on the same boat. And like, does he really deserve to get in? I don't know. Or have his jersey retired? Or in the rafters? I don't know. But you could probably say you don't win that without Tristan Thompson.
I would 100% agree with that statement. I would 100% agree with it. And that's where the muddying of the waters happens. I'll just ask you this. Is he an all-time great Cavalier?
I mean, no, but is Udonis Haslem an all-time great Miami Heat? No, but he'll be front and center.
Is Z. Now, here's the thing. Z is kind of an all-time great Cavalier. There's been a lot of winning happening with Z around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where it gets water. Listen, they want to throw it up there to have a banner up for them. Fine. And if somebody really comes back in a couple years, they go, I'd really like to wear number 0 and get them, because that's the thing, that there's no sanctity to that. How many times they asked the family and they said it's all good, or they asked the player and they said it's all good, So throw it up. Good for Kevin Love. I don't mean to rain on that parade, but it is what it is. All right, I want to flip back to the NFL, because this week has been absolutely insane. Not so much about Devontae Adams was going to get cut. Debo traded, and now DK Metcalf, Joey Bosa, all these other ones. What does it all factor in for the Browns? We'll tell you next. Fontana Show, right here on Big Play. All right, things starting to get moving here in the NFL. What of this week shocked you the most, Ryan? I'm going to run through them here just in a second. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Download that Big Play app. Check us out on YouTube at Big Play. Follow at Matt Fontana Show. Ryan is at Ryan Tyler 33, and I'm at Matt Fontana 83. Can we make that announcement?
Yeah.
Can we?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it going out? When's it going out on the socials? I mean, it's happening like next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here's your big announcement. Folks, we're going to be on The Rock. That's right, The Rock Entertainment Channel. We are going to be on it every Friday. Drennan's going to be on it. Big Factor's going to be on it.
We have a big play hour, 4 to 5 p.m.
Every day. Talking track.
This show will be
Fridays.
Because
we record on Thursday. So we'll still be live Thursday nights, but then the show's going to be on Fridays on the Rock Entertainment Channel. So check us out wherever. I should run through the channel list. We'll do that next week. Remind me next week to run through the channel list of like what's it on in Spectrum and all over. We're really excited about that. Hard work from everybody here at Big Play. Shout out to everybody at, I would say, the Rocket Arena, but really Dan Gilbert's outfit there with The Rock. Really, it's huge for us. It's big for us. And, we still love FanDuel Sports Network and all that. That's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. So that announcement coming here next week. All right, so busy week in the NFL. Let's go back. Debo traded to the Washington Commanders.
For a fifth and a bag of chips.
Is Debo good?
Is Debo fat? That's the question.
He said he was only 225. Luka Doncic going.
Donald Trump's 235, so it's all about how it's
I saw that about Donovan Mitchell and Donald Trump. They're supposed to be the same weight. We all lie about our weight. It is what it is. So Debo Samuel traded. Then you get Devontae Adams released, which is not a shocking thing at all. Joey Bosa released yesterday.
Tyler Lockett released
Again, not shocking. Max Crosby.
Getting paid.
For more tattoos. I don't know if he's got any room left. And DK Metcalf now makes a trade. What was your shocking thing from this week? Or let me ask you another one. Which one do you think has the most impact on the Cleveland Browns?
Impact on the Cleveland Browns.
There's one answer.
Max Crosby.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because he got $91 million guaranteed.
35 a year.
The 35 is important to a point, but like you see this with all these guys. There's no more guaranteed money for Devontae Adams. Gone.
But that number did make him the highest paid non-quarterback ever.
It did. And if he lives up to it, then they can redo it and all that kind of stuff. Miles was always, I think, going to go triple digits. He wanted $100 million guaranteed. And now with Max Crosby, no disrespect to Max,
There's levels.
I think he's a fine player. Myles Garrett is way ahead of Max Crosby. Let's not get this twisted here. So Myles going to want $100 million guaranteed. On top of 140 or whatever. And Daryl Ryder, 92.3, shout out to Daryl. He did a great job of laying out like what that structure might look like. Actually, let me pull that up for you real quick. So that one was the biggest one. Shocking one for me, though, was DK Metcalf. And I almost asked, and I almost wanted to make the point about the impact to the Cleveland Browns. You want to know why? They have a quarterback.
Relative.
And that was not good enough. Now, we've poked holes in Geno Smith, and if you go back to a lot of our wagers that we had this offseason, you don't see he does not play well at home. Like, there's your prime example where I think DK is following Myles Garrett, who's following Saquon Barkley. Watch this trend that I think is starting in the NFL. Star guys who are paid saying that's not even good enough anymore. And I'm to this level of a player, I'm not wasting my career here. I want to go somewhere where I can win. And the money is not the driving force anymore. I really think Saquon started this. Myles entrenched it. DK's going to follow. And then who else could it be? Who else is an amazing player just tolling away on a bad team? Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, who's good on Jacksonville? Brian Thomas one day. I don't know. Like, I really think there's a little trend starting here in the NFL. That was one that shocked me, but you're right about the Max Crosby. Here's the deals that Daryl threw out. You ready for this? 3 years, 108. 4 years, 144. 5, 180. And those get you to the 36 per year, and then again, if he wants the guaranteed of $100 million, I would assume it'd have to be the 4 or the 5 year deal,
right?
To get that
makes
done.
sense.
What if you just gave him a 3-year, fully guaranteed $108 million deal?
I'd be fine with that.
Do you think Myles would sign it?
No,
I don't either. Dude, nothing has changed for me on that.
Yeah,
nothing has changed. Like, I am really operating that Myles Garrett is not going to re-sign with the Cleveland Browns, and that they're going to have to trade him eventually.
Correct.
It's not going to be before June 1. You know where I'm at? I ain't going that damn late. It ain't going to be before June 1. But here's the other thing I was thinking about. What if the Browns are so entrenched they do start the season with him here, and he does hold out, and he does sit out? Now, that contract tolls, but at that point, the Browns do not have a choice to trade him. And people get into this, they get wrapped up like, well, it's not the NBA. He doesn't have as much power. He's got leverage in this. He doesn't have a lot, but he's got leverage. And I don't think there's any coming back from this. And again, as I see how this week in the NFL has gone, with big-name guys going on, but that's the other thing, too. You realize that these big free agent contracts that you sign, that you get these guys in here, and almost, I don't say never works, but like, you have got to draft good players and sign them. Somebody had this tweet, and it's so right. I want everybody to remember this. The second that you know a drafted guy is good, pay him. Because it's going to cost you more, and it's going to give you a headache down the road. The Browns did that with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. As soon as they knew he was good, they paid him. They did the right thing with Myles Garrett. But, like, you can't, Jerry Jeudy is fine. And, it's not that they've had a lot of big hits in free agency. Did this happen on our last show?
Juan?
You go ahead and take your victory.
I don't need a victory lap. I mean, I think anybody with eyes could tell.
Happy day for Ryan.
If you're going to be a free, shocking
I like
news.
How you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Shocking news, everybody. If you're a free safety that can't cover, you're probably going to get cut.
And dogging it on some plays there. I agree. That is what it is. All right, catch our break because we got the grid. A lot of these guys now we'll use Joey Bosa next year about where he's going to go. Let's get to the grid. We'll get to it next. All right, we dive headfirst into it, just like the pool I was at this weekend in Florida. Here we go, Ryan.
So you and Pat didn't get it last week, right?
No, we got it bad last week.
How did you guys not get Montez Sweat?
We weren't thinking.
I mean, I can't say anything. I'm yet to get it.
Pat helps to me like reset. I feel more comfortable when you're here because you and I, like, no offense to Pat, you and I are up here. We got it. So let's go.
I don't like
Damn
seeing Washington.
Commanders. I hate the Commanders. We hate them. All right.
10,000. Alex Smith.
Correct.
Because he doesn't work for.
Right. And you can just go ahead and rip Taylor Heineke, the Heine man. Yes. That right? Atlanta, Washington? Heineke?
Yes.
Okay.
Washington. I don't even want to look at Washington right now. 10,000 Dolphins. Marino.
Sure. And then
we could go far or Falcons.
we have Cousins there and Favre.
Oh, so we can go Cousins. Let's go Cousins.
You and your Cousins, Favre, either one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. Quarterbacks aplenty. Falcons, Dolphins. I want to say Raheem Mostert. I don't know if he was in Atlanta.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we can move off that one. Let's focus on the Panthers here. All right,
Okay.
Cam Newton doesn't work for any of those other ones. McCaffrey doesn't.
Andy Dalton doesn't. Baker doesn't.
Did we say Darnold?
Christian McCaffrey.
Darnold. There you go. Darnold. Good. Miles Sanders doesn't work for any of those.
Jonathan Stewart. No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Ted Ginn. Do you play for the Dolphins? Or Washington?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Right? Miami. Right. Yes.
And the Panthers, right?
Yes.
Right? We're not tripping.
No, I don't think so. Nice. All right. Nice. Okay. All right. Let's not count our chickens here. Okay.
Panthers, Washington. Okay.
Joey Sly.
I'm pretty sure.
I kind of think.
I'm pretty sure.
I kind of think.
I think you're. No,
I think I'm
you're-
right. Come on now.
Oh, I think I got it.
You got it.
Falcons, Dolphins. Wait, I don't know. Jonnu Smith didn't play for Falcon City.
I don't remember him in Atlanta.
I'm thinking of Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, no.
And he played for.
Cooper, no.
But where was he before New England?
Jonnu Smith.
Titans. That's
Titans. He got drafted by the Titans. All right. Okay.
Devin Hester, no.
No.
Okay, quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill, no.
Marcus Mariota?
I don't remember him in Miami.
I don't either. Ted Bridgewater? No.
Desmond Ritter, no.
No.
Julio Jones, no. Calvin Ridley, no.
Jacoby Brissett? I don't think so. Josh McCown?
No.
Quiz Rogers?
I think I'm going to say
No.
Quiz. I don't think so, though.
I don't think so. Jeff Wilson, I don't think was ever in Atlanta.
Jeff Okuda?
I don't think he was ever in Miami.
I don't either. Where did Hayden Hurst go?
I don't even know where he is now.
I think he's on the Chargers.
Okay. Roddy White, no, obviously not. Julio Jones.
Todd Gurley? No.
No.
Cordell Patterson? No, I don't
I don't
think.
think so. Pass rushers, I can't think of any. John Abraham. Deep cut there. I can't even think of a kicker that would work here. Matt Schaub never played in Miami. There's got to be one just slapping us in the face. Calvin Ridley, no.
Darnell Mooney, no.
No.
Zacchaeus Olamide? I don't think
Good
so.
pull. Kyle Pitts will be there in 2 years, but not now. Son of a gun. I'm seeing on Matt Ryan. I know there's got to be some legacy type of player. You know what I mean? Like,
Think so?
I mean, I know Morton Anderson kicked for the Falcons. I have no idea if he kicked for the Dolphins or not. Yeah.
We can't lose when we got
I know. We
Washington.
got so far. So far. So far.
Alex Mack, no.
No, he never played in Miami. I feel like there's an offensive lineman. There just is, but I can't. There's no way I'm going to be able to think of one. Oh my gosh. I mean, Jarvis Landry never played in Atlanta. Odell Beckham never played in Atlanta. Robbie Anderson never played in Atlanta, right?
Dude, I want to.
I know.
Are we sure Jonnu Smith didn't play for the Falcons?
If that's your best bet,
That's my best guess.
Then I'll rip it. Durham Smythe.
Oh God. You don't have any better ones?
I don't.
I know for a fact that he's on the Dolphins now. I just can't remember. I know Hayden Hurst was too. I don't know if I'm mixing them up, but I feel like at one point he was.
I listened to it because I got a better guess.
You ready?
Yep. Yeah! Yes! Nice! Yes! Attaboy, Ryan!
That's our first weekly
That's
one
our
we got,
first
right?
one. It's freaking Mark.
Woo!
Yes! Nice!
Finally.
Hell yeah!
Shout out my tight ends.
There we go. We should do a giveaway for that one, but maybe not. I'll wrap things up next. Stay with us. All right, wrapping things up here. Just wanted a quick mention. We recorded it earlier this morning in the break news. The Browns restructured Deshaun Watson. That's what they were always going to do. You'll play this out this year, then release him after the year. You get that little bit of cap space. But Ryan, as we start, because it'll be around the corner before you know it, new league year and free agency, a few small moves. Browns, they ain't going to do much there, which is fine. You're all in on the draft coverage and recapping some things, and just let this Myles Garrett thing temper down a little bit. But restructuring Watson, needed to do it, free up a little bit of space. Go give me a few guys. That's it.
Yeah, I'm most intrigued in terms of free agency if they get some running backs. I mean, Aaron Jones. I mean, who else is out there?
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins is an interesting
I like
one.
J.K.
Career
Dobbins.
resurgence, but it's like you're going from one, you're getting rid of Nick
You're
Chubb
still going to draft
to get a guy
somebody,
who's
though? Right. And I'd rather
internally
just keep,
hurt.
and
I
I'd
don't know.
rather just keep.
Right.
I'd rather just keep him around. What did you make of Justin Fields being the guy in Pittsburgh now? I'm still
Not
going to be
shocked.
so bummed.
Not
I'm still gonna be
shocked.
so bummed they didn't get him. This is going to bother me. It is what it is. All right, appreciate everybody joining us this week. We'll be back Thursday and next Friday on The Rock, so we appreciate all your support. Love you, Fairway Ford. Garage Beer, thank you very much. We'll talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.